Good afternoon, Fantasy Bay. You're here with Mike Williams, your host. So today we're going to be going over a Week 2 game preview, and we're going to go over the Thursday night game, Carolina Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So let's get it started. This game's going to be on Thursday, September 12th at 8:20 p.m. The over-under started at 51 points. It is now down to 49 points. The spread started at -5 Panthers, and now it is -6.5 Panthers. That means that they think the Panthers are going to win by a little bit more than they did before. All right. So we're going to start with the Panthers. So Carolina did not play very well last year, specifically Cam. He went 25 for 38 in completions. He had 239 yards, which is not terrible for him, but he didn't really rush too much. He had 1 interception and 0 touchdowns. That's not going to get it done for people who drafted him in the 5th, 6th round, well, 6th, 7th round, depending on the league. He's got to get better. He will get better. It's the first game of the season. I'm not jumping off ship. I'm not dropping him, so don't worry about that. He does need to get better at his downfield passes because his short drop-offs were fine, but as soon as he started throwing past 10 yards, it was a problem. So let's go to the wide receivers. We have DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. DJ Moore had a pretty good game, 7 for 10. He was 26% of the target share. I liked what he did. He didn't have a great game, but he had a pretty decent game. Got you some points. Then we have Curtis Samuel, who was the talk of the offseason. He was a little bit of a disappointment. 3 for 4. That's not enough targets or receptions. He had 11% of the target share. I'm looking for him to do better this week, but last week definitely was a disappointment. I think he'll be better this week, though. So we have, for running backs, we have Christian McCaffrey. He went 10 of 11 for receptions. He is definitely big in the receiving game, and he was a beast on the ground. All around, Christian McCaffrey, amazing. Fire him up, of course. And then the tight end. So Greg Olsen got a lot of targets. 4 for 9 on receptions. 24% of the target share. That's a good percentage for an older tight end. For somebody that didn't think that they were going to be that involved, I thought that was nice. He is dealing with an injury currently. He's currently questionable, but I believe he may play. I'm not sure if he's going to be hindered, though. So watch out for that on the injury report. So now we're going to go to the Bucs. All right, so Jameis Winston had an awful game. It was absolutely terrible. 20 for 36, 194 yards, which is very bad. He had 1 touchdown, 3 picks, 2 of which turned out into being pick 6. They were just awful throws. He's got to bounce back. I'm not giving up on him. I think that he had a terrible game. I'll admit that, but I think that he should be coming back with another good one. This is a pretty decent high over-under, so I'm assuming he's going to be able to throw up some points. Mike Evans was sick. Chris Godwin didn't get enough receptions. I believe this week he'll have a better week. All right, so now we have wide receivers. Mike Evans, you know, the flu will really, really get you. I mean, everybody's not Michael Jordan. They can't have that flu game. But I believe he's over that now. He was only 2 for 5. So I'm hoping that this week he comes through and gets some more catches. I think that he's going to have a decent week. But he is getting shadowed by James Bradbury. And he had his number last year. He did not play very well being shadowed by him. So I'm not looking for him to have an outstanding top 5 game, but I think he should have a decent game. All right, then we got going down to Chris Godwin. He had 3 of 6 receptions. He played okay. I'm looking for him to have a better week this week against the Carolina Panthers. That being said, just football-wise, game flow, I think that the Bucs need to run the ball more because Jameis was throwing all over the field, and he was not doing very well with it. I think we start running the ball, get some rhythm, and then throw some passes to your large receivers. I think he should be fine. All right, so let's go down. Speaking of running backs, let's go to the running backs. Before this game, I was looking into whether or not Peyton Barber or Ronald Jones would take over the starting job. It's looking like Ronald Jones is starting to inch away. He had 13 carries in comparison to Peyton Barber's 8 carries, but Peyton Barber was in the passing game with 2 of 4 receptions. So I think it's still a little murky, but I think Ronald Jones is pulling away. Dare Ogunbowale had 4 or 5 receptions. That's not bad for a running back. He actually had 14%, which turns out to be the same percentage that Mike Evans and Brashad Perryman had. So he seems to be at least involved in the passing game, which is a good sign. But that is going to be taking away from the starting running backs, Peyton Barber and Ronald Jones. But if they're going to win, I think they need to run the ball a little more. All right, so now we're going down to tight ends. We have O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard had an okay game, but a lot of people are really down on O.J. Howard. I've seen some people drop O.J. Howard. I repeat, do not drop O.J. Howard. You drafted him in the 5th or 6th round as a starting tight end. Just because he had one bad week does not mean he needs to be dropped. I'm telling you, hold on to him. And I think that is it. If you have any questions, Fantasy Bay, feel free to hit me up. And I'll see you later, Fantasy Bay.